Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, dear Karthik Kripa Prabhu and Sadananda Ramchandra Prabhu, for giving me this opportunity. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Iti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शत श्री श्रीमद अभय चरणारविंद भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी महाराज श्रील प्रभुपाद जी की जय। My beloved Srila Prabhupada, my Param Guru Maharaj, our founder Acharya of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness, my most beloved spiritual grandfather. Today, on the most auspicious tithi of your 125th appearance day, your 125th Vyasa Puja, I offer my eternal, unlimited, prostrated, respectful obeisances at your divine lotus feet. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada, I would like to glorify you as the perfect Acharya. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu taught us that Trinadapi Sunichena Taror api sahishnuna amanina manadena kirtaniya sadahari. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu repeatedly taught the importance of this verse, and he said that this verse should be strung around one's neck, and only then can we chant Hare Krishna effectively. Your very dear friend and your god brother, Srila Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Maharaj, who stayed in your house in Calcutta for 6 years, and with whom you preached so much, and you loved him so much. He had a disciple, His Holiness Bhakti Sundar Govind Maharaj. And Srila Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Maharaj sent his own disciple to you, even though you are a Grihastha, to learn Bhagavad Gita. Because in the Gaudiya Math, among all your god brothers, you were very well known as a foremost learned devotional scholar. And that's why even as a Grihastha, you were given the title Bhakti Vedanta. This Bhakti Sundar Govind Maharaj later on composed a very beautiful pranam mantra for you, dear Srila Prabhupada. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale Swami Shri Bhakti Vedanta Prabhupadaya Te Namah. He glorified you as Prabhupada, which is the title that was offered to your spiritual master, His Divine Grace Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Srila Prabhupada. But the Gaudiya Math devotees have offered you this title Prabhupada. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale Swami Shri Bhakti Vedanta Prabhupadaya Te Namah. Because Bhakti Vedanta Swami is your sannyas name. And Swami Shri Bhakti Vedanta Prabhupadaya Te Namah. Guruvagyam Shirasi Drishtva Shaktya Swarupine Hare Krishneti Mantrena Paschatya Prachatarine. The pranam mantra that you yourself gave, because at that time none of us knew Sanskrit. Your disciples did not know Sanskrit. So there was no one to compose a pranam mantra. So you yourself gave a very simple one, that Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. You humbly accepted credit on behalf of your Gurudev, that Paschatya Deshatarine. You have delivered the Western countries. But the fact is, Srila Prabhupada, even in India, you have preached so much. Even in countries like Japan, Malaysia, you went and you preached. So you have delivered even the Eastern countries. Therefore, they have glorified you, Srila Prabhupada, that Hare Krishneti mantrena paschatya prachyatarine. With the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, you have delivered East and West, both the hemispheres. You have delivered, in short, the whole world. So, Srila Prabhupada, you are glorified everywhere for having delivered this whole planet by Hare Krishna Mahamantra, because you gave Hare Krishna Mahamantra to the whole world. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says that this Hare Krishna Mahamantra can be effectively chanted only by a person who is following the principles of Trinadapi Sunichena, Tarorapi Sahishnuna, Amanina Manadena Kirtaniya Sadahari. So Srila Prabhupada, I would like to glorify you as the perfect Acharya who completely personified this verse. Trinadapi Sunichena. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says we have to be extremely humble, like a blade of grass lying on the street. And your humility shone forth very brilliantly when on 2nd Avenue, in the initial years of Krishna consciousness, many people who are following alternative philosophies were visiting you. One of them was the famous poet and social activist, Allen Ginsberg. And because he was frequenting your Monday, Wednesday, and Friday Bhagavad Gita classes that he would give in the evening at 7 p.m., he would attend those classes sometimes. People started associating him with the Hare Krishna movement. And one day, a drunkard came and standing near the door in the middle of your class, he asked you, "Are you Allen Ginsberg's guru?" And immediately your natural response came. You looked down and you said, "I am no one's spiritual master. I am everyone's servant." And His Holiness Mukunda Goswami, who at that time was Mike, he was sitting right near you. So he could hear what you said. You said, "I am no one's spiritual master. I am everyone's servant." And then you looked down and very softly under your breath, you said, "Actually, I am not even servant. I am the servant of the servant." Hare Krishna. And Mike heard this and he has written this very glorious manifestation of your natural humility in his book, Miracle on 2nd Avenue. Very beautiful book that glorifies you, Srila Prabhupada. Taror api sahishnuna. How you were so tolerant. It is described in the initial years that your disciples did not even know the common Vaishnava etiquettes. How you were tolerant. Once you had gone to meet some of your god brothers during your visit to Sri Mayapur Dham, and one of your disciple, American disciple, was accompanying you, and you went inside a room to meet your god brothers, and you were having a meeting with them, discussing Krishna Katha with them. And this disciple of yours was waiting outside, sitting, waiting for you to finish the meeting. And he realized that he has forgotten to put tilak. And he had a tilak stick in his pocket. So he took out Gopi Chandan, he spat in his hand because he didn't have water. He spat in his hand and he started applying Gopi Chandan tilak using his spit and Gopi Chandan because he was new devotee. He did not know the etiquettes. And there were Gaudiya Math devotees who were also outside. And they were aghast to see that Swami Maharaj's disciple, Swami Maharaj is what they called you commonly in those days. Swami Maharaj's American disciple is using his spit to make chandan and apply it. And they were laughing. And they were chastising your Western disciple, your American disciple. Hearing the commotion, all of you came out of the room and you saw your disciple being chastised. Even though it was a serious deviation from the Vaishnava standards, but you are so tolerant, Srila Prabhupada, that you still saw the good in that disciple. And to encourage him, even though he was ashamed and he was being chastised by others, you saw the good in him. And you explained to the Indian devotees who were making fun of him and chastising him that, listen, if he wants, he can be in America enjoying all sorts of sense gratification that we cannot even imagine. But he is young and he has all the sense gratification, eating, sleeping, mating, defending at his disposal in America. But he has given it all up and he has come here to serve Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He is new. He doesn't know all the rules and regulations. So what if he used his spit to make tilak? Please don't criticize him. You tolerated the faults of your disciples and you saw the good in them. Amanina. Many times it is described that in the initial years, you would be sitting in your room doing typing and translating Srimad Bhagavatam all alone. And devotees could just come, walk into your room and ask you questions and difficulties. And it is described that they would just come and literally stand over you and talk to you while looking down at you. And these were your newly initiated disciples, Srila Prabhupada. But you were so amanina, you were so much not expecting any respect that you would look up at them and answer all their hundreds of questions looking up at them. Later on, when they came to India, many years later, these disciples realized that one should not talk looking down at the spiritual master. One should always keep oneself at a lower level than the spiritual master. Spiritual master is sitting on the floor. We should also offer full obeisances and be at a lower level. And so that the spiritual master can look down at us and speak. It should not have to look up at us and speak. But these simple etiquettes they did not know, and you tolerated Srila Prabhupada without expecting any respect. You were cooking for the hippies. You were washing the plates of the hippies, cleaning up after them without expecting any respect. Amanina and manadena. There are so many examples of you being so respectful. Just this morning, I was listening to Prabhupada Memories. There's a YouTube channel, Prabhupada Memories, and all your disciples, many of your disciples, hundreds of them, have recorded such wonderful remembrances of you, fond memories of you. And I was listening to your disciple, His Grace Madhu Dvisa Prabhu. And he was mentioning that once a devotee came with his father to meet you. He wanted his father to meet you. And all along in your books, he had read that one should follow the 4 regulative principles. No meat eating, no intoxication, no illicit sex, no gambling. And anyone who does not follow these 4 regulative principles is like a 2-legged animal. He is a victim of Kali Yuga. He's like a demon if he is not a devotee of Krishna and if he is not following these 4 regulative principles. So he considered his father to be demoniac. He considered his father to be a demon. But he brought his father one day to meet you. And you were extremely respectful to the father of your disciple, because he was also elderly. And by social norms, he was an educated, respectable gentleman. He had come in suit and tie. And he was coming inside a temple. And the disciple said, "Father, you must remove your shoes." And you said, "That's all right. He doesn't have to remove shoes." You were so respectful to the father. And then your disciple said, "Prabhupada, this is my father." And you were very respectful to him. You bowed down to him. You welcomed him. And then the disciple came and almost whispered in your ears, "Prabhupada, why are you being so respectful? He's not a devotee. He's not a devotee. My father is not a devotee. Why are you being so respectful?" But you smiled and you told your disciple in front of his father, "A good fruit can never come from a bad tree." Hare Krishna. So you glorified your disciple that he's a good fruit because he has given up sense gratification and he has become a devotee of Krishna. He has become initiated. And you're glorifying the father by saying that a good fruit like you, you're telling your disciple, a good fruit like you cannot come from a bad tree. A good fruit can never come from a bad tree. And you were very respectful. And the father of the devotee was so charmed by your culture, your respectfulness, and your kindness, that he congratulated the son on becoming your disciple and taking up Krishna consciousness. In this way, Srila Prabhupada, you are Trinadapi Sunichena, Tarorapi Sahishnuna, Amanina Manadena, and Kirtaniya Sadahari. Kirtaniya Sadahari I found in the book of your beloved disciple, His Holiness Bhakti Charu Swami Maharaj. In his offering to you, the book called An Ocean of Mercy, he writes about your divine disappearance from this world. As you were leaving this world, every few hours, this is November, 13th of November, 1977, when you were showing your divine Leela of leaving this world and teaching us as the Acharya how to leave this world. You were in bed in Vrindavan, Raman Reti, Krishna Balram Mandir, and every few hours you would just open your mouth and Srila Bhakti Charu Maharaj would come and put some Charanamrut in your mouth because your mouth had become very dry. You had not eaten or drunk anything for days. That was his seva. And when he was putting Charanamrut in your lotus mouth, Srila Prabhupada, your beloved godbrother was sitting next to you, Akinchan Krishnadas Babaji Maharaj. And he pointed out to Srila Bhakti Charu Maharaj, look, your Prabhupada is chanting. And Srila Bhakti Charu Swami Maharaj said, I couldn't believe because it was almost like you were unconscious. So next time you opened your mouth for water and he was putting Charanamrut, Srila Bhakti Charu Maharaj looked carefully and he actually saw your tongue was vibrating Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Your tongue was constantly vibrating the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So you are Kirtaniya Sadahari. Kirtaniya Sadahari. And because you are Kirtaniya Sadahari, you have been able to inspire so many 24-hour kirtans. There is 24-hour kirtan in Vrindavan. There is 24-hour kirtan in Mayapur Dham. I have heard that there is 24-hour kirtan going on in Russia also. It is all by your inspiration, Srila Prabhupada. So on your 125th Vyas Puja, we renew our vows of initiation and we redouble our determination that we will never leave the shelter of your lotus feet. We will never leave this wonderful house that you have built for the whole world called the International Society for Krishna Consciousness, ISKCON. And remaining within this beautiful sheltering house that you have given us, we will try our best to follow what you have given us. Jare dekho tare kaho Krishna Upadesh. To preach the message of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to one and all. Dear Srila Prabhupada, please bless us so that we are always a source of pleasure to you and we never displease you. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.